On April 9th, 1883, at the American Institute rink in New York, England's former world heavyweight title challenger, Charlie Mitchell, laid a vicious beating upon Philadelphia's Mike Cleary, a hard-punching Irish-born middleweight who, like Mitchell, traversed the weights in his career, heading to heavyweight, where he came in as the heavyweight champion of Pennsylvania. In attendance on this night was one Boston strongboy, John L. Sullivan, the first recognized world heavyweight champion in boxing history. Ultimately, the paths of Mitchell and Sullivan would cross on several occasions, with Mitchell gaining a draw against Sullivan in an iconic 1888 matchup in France. But back to the night of April 9, 1883, there also was another fighter in attendance, one who came from a land far down under and at this point is merely a name on Sullivan's long ledger. This was none other than 6'2" New Zealand heavyweight Herbert Slade, known as the Maori. It would be a mere 3 months later before Slade, protege of bare-knuckle great Jim Mace, would find himself standing in front of the Boston strongboy. In the annals of boxing history, John L. Sullivan emerges as an iconic figure, but amidst his storied career lies a question that stirs debate even today. Did John L. Sullivan actually cross the color line? Sullivan's reluctance to fight black boxers is well documented, a stance that solidified the racial boundaries within the sport. Yet, on August 6, 1883, Sullivan faced Herbert Slade, a boxer of Maori descent, in a matchup that challenges the simplicity of this narrative. The Maori, indigenous Polynesian people of New Zealand, have a rich cultural heritage. Slade, hailing from this lineage, stood on the fringes of the era's racial definitions, navigating a space where racial lines were both drawn and contested. Herbert Slade was known as the Maori and brought not only his boxing prowess, but also the weight of his cultural background into the ring against Sullivan. Now, visually, there was a bit of ambiguity to Slade's look, so he could in theory pass as white. This fight, beyond its physical contest, posed an unspoken question about racial boundaries in boxing. To fully grasp the significance of Herbert Slade's heritage in this match against Sullivan, we must delve into the roots of the Maori people. The Maori, New Zealand's indigenous Polynesian inhabitants, have a profound connection to their land, culture, and ancestors. Integral to the Maori identity is the concept of Vakapapa, or genealogy, which connects individuals to their ancestors and the natural world. This deep sense of belonging and identity is expressed through taimoko, traditional tattoos that narrate individual and whānau, or family, histories, and through the haka, a ceremonial dance that embodies the Maori spirit. In today's New Zealand, the Maori continue to celebrate and preserve their unique culture, contributing to a bicultural nation that acknowledges its indigenous roots. However, the journey of the Maori has been marked by colonizations, land confiscations, and the struggle for sovereignty and recognition, which continues to influence their social and racial standing. Racially, Maori are recognized as the Tangata Whenua, people of the land of New Zealand. Yet, they navigate a world where the identity intersects with the broader Pacific Islander identity and the complexities of post-colonial racial classifications. Today, the Maori identity is celebrated for its resilience, richness, and significant contributions to New Zealand's national character. Against this backdrop, Herbert Slade's ascent into the boxing world during the 1880s not only marked a sporting achievement, but also represented the Maori spirit on a global stage. His match with Sullivan thus posed layers of cultural and racial significance, challenging and enriching the narrative of boxing history. Sullivan's matchup with Slade was a spectacle. Their fight took place in the famed Madison Square Garden, where a reported 10,000 plus people packed the house to see what was a hotly anticipated matchup, with droves of fans showing up 2 hours or more before the event started. Slade was backed by John L's most staunch rival, Richard Kyle Fox of the National Police Gazette, as he was on a quest to dethrone any claim Sullivan had for heavyweight supremacy. The ring was essentially a 24 by 24 elevated platform in the middle of the arena with ropes strung around 4 posts, and even standing room was at a premium. The gate would draw around $16,000, with Slade taking home 40%. $16,000 in 1883 was roughly $495,000 in 2024, a staggering sum for the time. When the two men were stripped of their shirts in opposite corners, Sullivan was a fit and trim 197 pounds, in impeccable condition. Slade looked to be around 220 pounds, though he was considered to be a bit fleshy and not in prime condition. Nonetheless, Sullivan glared into the eyes of Slade with bad intentions. When the fight started, Sullivan was first to land significant blows with the 2-punch combo capped by a shot to Slade's neck that sent the crowd into an uproar. After some cautious infighting, Sullivan stormed Slade with a flurry of punches before sending the Maori to the canvas flat on his back. Slade sprung to his feet as the two men clinched. Upon the referee breaking them, Slade ran towards the ropes with his back turned to Sullivan as Sullivan showered him with shots to the body, neck, and head before a blow sent Slade through the ropes, off the platform, and onto the floor. Slade was able to rise in just enough time before the bell rung for round 1. In the second round, the two men met in the middle of the ring and exchanged blows, though it was Sullivan's blows that seemed to have more effect. Sullivan again pressed Slade back, forcing him near the ropes, where Sullivan landed another hard blow that sent Slade down, even hitting the ring corner post. Slade again regained his footing before being driven back to the opposite corner, where he was again dropped, this time into the platform. Slade rose and the two sparred a short bit before the round ended. At this point, Slade was exhausted and his left eye showed visible discoloration from the raining blows. Sullivan, on the other hand, was still relatively fresh. In the third, and what turned out to be the final round, Sullivan led with a shot square to Slade's face that staggered him and forced him to clinch. Sullivan muscled his way out of the clinch and started to hammer Slade with left and rights with little response. Sullivan continued to tee off with short punches on the inside before Slade again went sprawling to the canvas. Slade's nostrils were flowing with blood as he raised his head in a dazed and confused manner, seemingly almost unconscious. From there, the police inspector and captain rushed the platform as the fight was stopped, with Sullivan emerging victorious. Yet, it's the implications of this fight that linger. Did Sullivan, by fighting Slade, inadvertently cross the color line he staunchly upheld? Though Slade could pass as white, his Maori descent introduces a complexity into Sullivan's legacy. This fight exemplifies the murky waters of race, identity, and sportsmanship in the late 19th century. In 2016, the first genome-wide study of ancient DNA from prehistoric Polynesians confirmed the initial theory that these ancient mariners were of East origin descent who sailed out into the Pacific. It was only much later that the Melanesians, possibly men, ventured into Oceania and intermingled with the Polynesians. As we look back, Sullivan's fight against Herbert Slade stands as a testament to the intricate dance between race, recognition, and boxing. Perhaps it offers a glimpse into a moment that when the color line was, if not crossed, certainly blurred. Now, if we can find evidence that Sullivan actually fought a black man, that would change the game completely. Until then, join us as we continue to explore the legacies of boxing history and the legends. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the sweet science. Thanks.